Today we'll be talking. Hi guys, today we'll be covering Unit 4, Lesson 2, Ratios and Rates with Fractions. The lesson first begins with a warm-up called Number Talk Division. What it wants us to do is to find each quotient mentally. Keep in mind that the quotient is the answer to a division problem, okay? So a quotient is the answer to a division problem. So in previous lessons, we talked about how to divide fractions. When you divide fractions, it's the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, okay? So I'm going to be annotating or answering these questions in red, and I hope you guys follow along, okay? Now, to help me organize my notes, I'm going to partition my paper into sections of 4 so you guys can know which each expression or which each work will go into, each box with each work will go into, okay? So for the first one, 5 divided by 1/3 is the same as saying 5 times 3 over 1. What I just did is a method that you guys may know as keep, change, flip, but it's the correct math term is called the multiplicative inverse. Okay, and just like I said before, dividing by a fraction is the same by multiplying by its reciprocal. So 5 times 3 will give me 15 over 1. Do we really need that 1? No, we don't need that 1, so the answer will be 15. So 15 for your first answer choice. For the second one, I have 2 divided by 1/3. So 2 divided by 1/3 is the same as saying 2 times 3 over 1. What we just did was just apply the multiplicative inverse. Now, I missed this step in my first expression. When you multiply fractions, you could put a 1 underneath that too, because all whole numbers or what goes underneath whole numbers is a 1, but you necessarily don't have to use it, okay? You can actually get rid of that denominator. And your answer will be 6 over 1. That simplifies to just 6. So the second one will be 6. Now the first one, 1/2 divided by 1/3. I want to apply the multiplicative inverse. I'm going to get 1/2 times 3 over 1. So 3 over 1, multiply, go straight across, because remember, we want to make sure that when we multiply fractions, we're going straight across and not cross multiplying, okay? Because I've been seeing that a lot lately in my classroom. All right. Now, I want to know, how can I turn this improper fraction into a mixed fraction? All right. So what I like to tell my students in class is, what I like to ask them is, how many times can 2 go into 3 without going over? How many times can 2 go into 3 without going over? If you guess 1 time, you are absolutely correct. So if 2 can go into 3 1 time, then what's left over? If you guess 1, you are absolutely correct. And you could leave 2 as the denominator. Now, I want to show you guys the long division process as well quickly. So 2 could go in that 1 time without going over. 1's left over. And the remainder that's left over would be that numerator, which would be 1 and 1/2. Now for the last problem, I see a mixed fraction. So for that mixed fraction, I want to do an improper fraction, or turn that mixed fraction into an improper fraction, which I will multiply that whole number 2 times the denominator 2, which would be 4. So 4 plus 1, because I'm adding my product to my numerator at the top, which would be 5/2 divided by 1/3. Now, what I want to do is apply the multiplicative inverse, which is 3 over 1. And this will give me 15/2. Now, we could do the same process. How many times can 2 go into 15 without going over? If you guess 7 times, you are absolutely correct. And what's left over is 7, because remember, your quotient at the top will be your whole number. Your numerator will be the remainder, and your denominator will be your divisor. And it should be 7 1/2. If you have any questions on how to divide fractions, make sure you visit your manager's Google Meet session. I'll see you guys in the next problem.